Hi, everyone. It's Alec Crawford, your host for the AI Risk Reward podcast. And with me today is Matthew White, founder and CEO of Platypus OS. Welcome, Matthew.
Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, very excited.
AI is pretty cool, and our theme for the show today is AI will let you do your thing. So I'm pumped. But let's rewind a little bit first. Like I love
Sure.
going back to people's origin stories. Just tell us a little bit about your first job out of college and how it set the stage for where you are now.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I've wound around quite a bit actually. So I started in healthcare staffing out of college. Was not a fan, did not enjoy that at the least, but spent like 4 years in it. And then ended up actually getting fired from that job for reasons that we can go into or not. But moved at that point into marketing. I actually worked for a marketing agency for a number of years. Then I moved into mobile advertising.
Hmm.
During that time, I always kind of had a draw towards technology. And actually, at that time, when I was in healthcare, I met my co-founder through Craigslist, my co-founder of my company now, and we started building a social media platform for sports fans we called Heckle Sports. And we just got really into it. We grew it. It did okay. We got to like 20,000 active users. Got kind of killed by Facebook's fan pages. And so that kind of died out. But then a few years later, after I ended up leaving mobile advertising, I went and started the company Keybot. And Keybot, Qebot, it's kind of a weird spelling and weird name. It's like a centralized platform of different SaaS applications like website builders, social media platforms, email marketing, et cetera, CRMs. It's just we really kind of focus it on a better way for small and medium sized businesses to access and use these tools. They're interconnected. They're cheaper because we could spread the margin around a lot more. We did really well with that. Like if you're buying from the Better Business Bureau, you're buying through us. We're the white label back end of that system. We work with tons of marketing agencies. And yeah, that was kind of we did that for the last 10 years. We still are managing that, and it's a great business for us that has helped us really enable us to do what we do now, which is Platypus OS. And kind of building Platypus OS was based on the core of what we did with Keybots, where we were making software just a lot easier for people to access and use and make it more accessible for small business owners. And then the idea going forward was to build a browser that was actually a lot more focused around your applications and your tools. And, I don't know about you, but I have 75 tabs open every time I open my Chrome, and it's a mess. And so we wanted to do something more focused around how you actually work and how you actually do things. And then we started to integrate AI into it and realized, oh, not only can we reorganize and refocus the browser, but we can also layer the AI in and have it actually work on your behalf. So now in our new system, you can prompt our AI to do anything in over 1,500 different applications, and it will like do it in the background for you, either via the front end or API. So we're really building a full assistant, a full AI assistant that you can have do whatever you need. It's not just generative, it's assistive these days where you can have it, update people in your CRM or make a call through Google Phone or, whatever those different tools you have. You can actually do it right now via prompting, which is very exciting. I think it's the future of where AI is starting to go.
Yeah, pretty cool. So rewinding a little bit, you mentioned you had read the book The Goal
Yeah.
by Eli Goldratt and were a big fan. Just pitch the audience on the book.
Yeah. It's actually right here. I love this book. It's one I've read. I read it in college at first, so a long time ago, and it hit me. The cool thing about it is it teaches a lot of core concepts on building a business, managing the structures of a business, finding your constraints that your business is going through, and how to work through those constraints. Really kind of figuring out how to scale up a business. I've read it like twice since, just because it was so good back then. And the cool thing, it builds it in kind of a nonfiction kind of
Hmm.
way it's presented. So it's actually really fun to read. But the learnings you're going to get out of this, again, just around how you find the little constraints you're going to come across as you scale up a business, and how you kind of manage those, how you bring different ideas in to circumnavigate those constraints. I think it's great. I recommend it to anybody who's building a business or managing, managing systems, managing how an organization is going to operate. So big fan.
Cool. Well,
Yeah,
that sounds great. I'm going to put that on my summer reading list.
do it. I
And
love it.
so let's start with thinking more about Platypus OS, right? And you kind of gave us the origin story there a little bit. What are some of the challenges you had while starting that business and growing it?
Yeah, I don't think we realized how hard it was going to be able to build a browser. To be honest, like that was a year and a half long endeavor. We
Wow.
started into it. We were like, okay, browser's a browser. It's based on the Chromium backend, but to organize and build everything that goes into an actual browser was so much work. It was just we would come across things and be like, oh, that's not working correctly, or oh, if you're going to use a browser, you need this, bookmarks, and you need extensions, and you need, all these types of things to work correctly. And so that was just a lot of us going back and continuously having to reinvent what we were doing. I like where we got with it. It's a fully functional browser. You can do anything in ours that you can do in any other browser now. And it's more organized. So we kind of reorganize everything out of tabs and try to make it more application based. And so that was probably the biggest struggle. The interesting thing is, like, integrating the AI into it was actually a much easier endeavor. we found that building AI systems, and especially using AI as a developer on our team, has made all of this just so much faster and easier. I mean, when we were building the browser, we were using it a little bit, but not as much as we should have been. And now anybody who wants to go build something these days, AI will make it so much easier and so much more available for you to bootstrap a company into existence. It's pretty amazing technology that we're using right now. And yeah, those are some of the struggles. I think what we have out now has been kind of a love of us building something, and we're really proud of it right now. But yeah, there was a lot of work, a couple of years going into making this thing actually viable, which has been
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
We've been doing the same thing for a couple of years, or
Yep.
growing our software business. And what are your aspirations for Platypus OS in the coming years? Like, look, there's tons of stuff in AI, right? So,
Yeah.
what do you hope to accomplish?
So my thesis on AI is that at some point, it's one of the reasons we call it Platypus OS, is I think that AI will become the operating system in the future. I think in the next couple of years. I don't think it's even that far off. I think, and especially with what we're doing, where we're connecting AI into every application that you use via API or front end, so we can really do anything you can do or an API can do into your applications, we can do via AI at this point. You can prompt it. It will ingest the API documentation. It can do whatever you need. I think that is going to be where everything starts to transition, where you're not using AI. One of the big things I hear from people is like, oh, this is a great tool. It's a great application. I love using it. In my mind, AI is not a tool. It's not an application. It's a team member. It's somebody on your team at this point. It's smart enough that it can do whatever an assistant can do, from generative AI to the assistive stuff that we're working with. And I think that kind of mindset is what people need to start thinking about when it comes to AI, because it's going to continue to evolve into a place where it's going to be a real member of your organization. And it can be like everybody in your team can have an assistant at some point. Like even the assistants can have assistants within your organization. So I think that's going to continue to evolve into a place where we're going to see AI actually be, again, like the operating system, to a point where you're, instead of going into the interface of any application and typing and using those systems, that your Salesforce, whatever it might be, you're actually just going to start prompting AI to do the work for you, to change things, to update things. AIs will start to become much simpler, which I think is going to be great for people that aren't the most tech savvy. And then people will use AI a lot more functionally to be able to manage these tools and run with these tools. So one of the things we work with a lot of SMBs in the Keybot side, and we just became passionate about helping SMBs like be able to use technology. And I think this is going to be a fundamental change for small business owners that maybe aren't the most tech savvy or don't have the staff to run some of these applications. It's going to make it so much more simple for them to be able to use technology and adopt technology. I think it's going to be a great way for small business owners to compete with the big guys. They're going to be able to have
Yeah.
marketing agents and admin agents. So I think there's a lot that's going to happen in the next few years, leveling the playing field, I think, which is cool.
Yeah. So for an individual, I guess first question would be like, what are the risks? Like I put my credit card in, I'm trying to get my agent to buy me some Yankees tickets. If it like buys the $1,000 ticket instead of the $100 ticket, like, is it my problem or is it the agent's problem?
So that's a great question. The two things we kind of think about here, when it comes to security, when it comes to either building automations in your applications that you're using, or putting your credit card information, things like that, we're still building the same kind of structures that your computer does. I mean, your computer is still sending a signal with your credit card into the webosphere so that you can make that transaction. This is kind of the same operation that's going to work. Like when you tell AI, hey, put my credit card in and purchase this, the AI is not going to save that information. It's going to pass it through just like it does right now within how just the internet works when you're buying anything online. So I think those are some of the things that people can be scared about. But I think shouldn't be top of mind too much at this point. It's going to work very similarly to how it is working right now. And a lot of times too, when you're using a credit card, it's saved. That's saved on your device. Like it's not saved in the cloud anywhere. Typically, it's going to be saved on your device. So when you go, oh, I want to buy something from Walmart, you have to tap your little finger on the thing to authorize it, and then that credit card is being sent, but it's not being saved anywhere other than being pushed from your device to there. So we're doing the same kind of thing with AI, where it's going to be those types of credentials, those types of credit card numbers, et cetera, are all going to be saved locally and then being able to be used by AI, kind of as it is if you were purchasing from Walmart's storefront, things like that.
Yeah. So at this point, OpenAI has been ordered to preserve all chats. I don't know if that's going to hold up or not. But obviously, look, there's a lot of discussion about safety and security in
Sure.
AI and effectively regulatory compliance. Is this a concern for Platypus OS?
So not specific. So here's the thing about how we operate is we have taken the AI and we're hosting it ourselves, right? So we don't have to abide by the same rules that OpenAI is, where their internal rules where they're saving every chat. We're just not going to do that. Like we have taken open source AI, built it into our own system so that we can kind of control it however we want. I don't think we need to save every chat. I think we will ask users if they want us to save specific chats, and we can, not save things that have to do with credit card numbers or credentials, things like that. But one of the things you want is you want your assistant to start to learn you, right? So you want it to start to understand who you are, build narratives around how you operate, how you talk, how you write messages. Because at some point you're going to want to say, write a message to John about our upcoming meeting and give him all the details. You don't want that to come through as a robot writing. You want it to come through as your voice, right? So that's where the education process is important. And we'll build in systems, or we have built in, and we are still building in systems to allow you to kind of decide what you want us to save and learn about you and what you don't want us to. And that's going to continue to evolve, as well as understanding how you want us to personalize your assistant for you, and how you want to, and what you want just to be completely not, kept and saved within the system itself.
And going back to the theme of this particular episode, how will AI let you do your thing, Matthew?
Yeah, this is what I think is exciting. I think what we're really looking to do is be able to build a system again where you can use these applications and tools without having to sit down at your computer and like type it in and do all that stuff. We can build automation so that you don't have to sit there and do your weekly, all your billings or all your, all the little administrative work that everybody hates, everybody doesn't want to do. You can have AI start to do that for you. And that's going to save people hours and hours of time per month. It's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to allow you as a business manager, a business owner, a worker, to save a lot of time that you can work on things that you like more. You can be more creative in your endeavors. If you are running a business and you really like the social media side of it, you could actually spend more time there because you're not sitting there for 3 hours running your accounting on a weekly basis, right? Because the AI can do that for you. It also allows, again, when I think of like small business owners, it's going to allow them to adopt technology in a much more functional way. I work with so many business owners that we've set up a CRM for them, And then 2 months later, they're not using it at all because they're just like, it's too much. I can't deal with it. I'm not going to sit on my computer and enter all these, things in here on a daily basis. I need it done. Now with AI, you can set up automations to do that stuff, or you can be out on a job site and say, okay, I just finished this job. You just prompt into your phone, finish the job with John Doe, send him a bill, here's the price. And then it will do it all for you. That's just saving people so much more time that they can either go spend with their family, they can be doing creative things that they enjoy more, or they can be on more jobs, right? If you're sitting at your office for 3 hours a week, that's time you could be billing somebody if you're out on a job. So you could be making more money that way as well.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds to me like if AI is this good, that means software as a service is kind of in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way I think about it, I think software as a service is going to be around for a bit. And again, what we're doing is plugging into all those software as a service programs so that we can help, assist in the actions you want to take within those platforms on a regular basis. But if we think about what SaaS is, it's just a set of databases within each tool that is accessible and usable versus a front end, right? So somebody builds a user interface, and then you can use that database information based on whatever actions you have in an interface. That with AI can fundamentally change. The way we foresee, and this is kind of where I get into this being an operating system at some point, is you can now, within a system like ours, if you wanted, you could take all of your data and compile it into one central database. So you don't have a database here in this tool and here in this tool and here in this tool, which also saves a lot of computing power, to be honest. And then you can actually use AI to do whatever you want with that data. There's no constraints. There's a lot of constraints when you have an interface and UI where you're like, oh, okay, I can only do this, this, and this. That's all the interface allows me to do. With AI, you can do anything. I mean, you could just say, hey, run a report specific to this, this, and this, and it can go do that and then spin up a landing page to show you that data. And then you can say, oh, I want it in a bar graph instead of a pie chart, and it will just fix it for you, right? So I think it's going to be a drastic change that's going to be coming that way. And I think that the SaaS industry will start to have struggles keeping up with that centralization and that functionality. Now, what I do think that will start to replace it is the agent ecosystem. I think we're going to see a lot of stuff built with agents in the near future where we're going to be able to automate things, build customizations. We're going to be able to do, and the cool thing, especially like with what we're building, we have the connections in all the applications. All these people that want to build these agents have to do is come prompt it, build all the prompt engineering for whatever specific role or task they want it to take, and launch it and sell it. And I think that's going to be a really interesting future on what SaaS becomes. I think it's going to become very agent based in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's talk a little bit about the impact of AI on the job market and life in general. Like, no one has a crystal ball, but what are your thoughts?
We're going to see a transition. It's going to be, I do foresee some hard times for some people in the near future. I think there's going to have to be a retraining of what people can and can't do. I think about the long haul trucking industry, right? We already see, I take Waymo's here in San Francisco. It's a easy way to get around. Automated car drives all over the place. Honestly, follows the rules of the law of the road, which is kind of nice, which you don't get in some other cars sometimes. But like that is a huge industry. There's like 3 million people that are employed by that industry. And if we're already seeing cars navigating the city streets, the freeway streets are not going to be that far off. So that's one place, that's one example of where this is going to change career paths a lot. I think assistive jobs we'll see may have some struggles in the future. Some sales roles. We're seeing some of these voice systems or voice for support or sales have been great, especially like the lower level, like SDR or customer service reps. I think we're going to see a lot of that being challenged in the next few years. Where it goes from there, I think we just have to kind of figure out a reimagining of what work looks like. Now, I do think, again, with an agent ecosystem, kind of like what we're building, people could launch and build these kind of applications they could release into the marketplace and have a cool way to build their own little business. And I think we could see and I know people have been talking about it, we could see companies coming in and building agents for all these different tasks and all these different industries. We could see in the next few years, teams of 1, 2, 3 people building billion-dollar companies easily in this kind of an ecosystem. And I think that is pretty exciting. But that's 3 people. I don't know where all the rest of the jobs go. It's a little scary. I think we'll work through it. I mean, we've been through evolutions like this in human past, but it's going to be an interesting time in the next few years.
Yeah. And then everyone's favorite question, of course, like the downside of AI going rogue, right? It may not be the Terminator, but it may be something, pretty bad. Like, are you concerned about that?
I think you have to be, right? I think if you're not thinking of those terms, you're running around with blinders on. This stuff, and that's where I'm a big fan of regulation. I think the regulators need to come in and put their thumbs in here and say, okay, here's what we will allow, and here's what we can't allow. I think injecting AI too deep into our defense systems probably not the best idea at this point. I mean, I think they can use it in a number of different ways, but not give it a lot of central access to do its own thing on its own rogue agenda. I think there's a lot it can do when it comes to helping a lot of people kind of live a more fulfilled life in kind of ways we talked about before. But I think, again, without regulation, this is going to become a real problem. And it's something I worry about, right? You look at some of these conversations you see, from Senate meetings and the House, and they just don't know what they're talking about. And they're so lost on this.
Yeah.
And
totally agree.
I think you need to get out there and vote and start to look for people that understand this side of the world a little bit, because the world is changing dramatically. And if we don't have people in charge that understand it, there's going to be some problems that we're going to run into in the near future, I think.
Yeah. I actually spent a lot of time talking to the regulators about AI, both in the US and Europe.
Yeah.
And one of the other things I'd say is it's not just get out and vote. If you're a leader of a company like you, or especially a place like Apple or these really big companies, like you got to make your voice heard at the highest levels.
Yeah.
Around making sure we can do things safely with AI. And it's mostly about getting the government to regulate them, not the little companies, right? Because there's a lot of self-serving regulation where they're just trying to like run over everybody else. That's not great either. So there's got to be a happy median then. I don't think it's the Terminator either, but we do have to be pretty careful. What I always say is never give AI the nuclear codes, right?
No, please no, don't do that. Well, the funny thing too is like AI is so prolific at this point too that even the smaller players could do some pretty nefarious stuff if you think about it. So I don't know how to control it at this point, but I think we need people in place in our governments that understand this well enough that they can start to make real impacts on what the regulations look like going forward for this kind of stuff. Because if not,
totally agree.
It's gonna be a problem.
When are we gonna have our first cabinet level AI person, right? Like
today.
It
should be
coming,
now.
Right? It's coming.
It's here. It's already here. Get somebody in there.
Yeah. So, look, a lot about AI. You've obviously learned a lot over time. What are some of your favorite ways to learn about AI, whether it's something you're reading or watching or doing or whatever?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I'm an avid reader of everything AI. I have so many notifications that come up.
Favorite blog, whatever it is.
Ooh, I have to think about that.
Podcast and anything.
I'll have to come back to you on that. I can't think of one on the top of my head. I have a whole bunch that I go through.
We'll put that in. We'll put that in the show notes. We'll put that in the show
perfect.
Notes.
But I have some that I can send over to you. I think one of the biggest things for me though has just been playing with it. I mean, there's so much you can learn from AI itself. I think that's one of the cool things that we discovered is when you have a question about what AI can do, ask AI. And AI will tell you exactly what it can and can't do. And it will give you resources on how to learn more about what that is. I mean, we learned about how to build an agent ecosystem and marketplace by asking AI to build us an agent ecosystem and marketplace, right? And it helped us construct a problem. We're like, okay, we don't like this, we don't like that. I think that's where this whole thing becomes very interesting. Because if you think about AI, the interesting thing about it is it's generative, but it also basically has the knowledge of all the internet at this point. So if you want to know something, it probably knows it, and it probably has better information than any single like blog or person you're actually going to go talk to. It's going to find the information and then give it to you, and then you can ask it to, consolidate it around a specific idea, or understand, you give it more context, and it can find that information for you. So for me, using AI has probably been the best way for me to learn AI, which is kind of weird to say, but it's get in there and play with it, and that's how you'll figure it out.
Awesome. Do you have any advice, being a founder yourself, obviously, multiple times, do you have any advice for new founders? Maybe they've got an idea, they got a product. How do
Yeah.
you start a company? How do you think about starting a company?
So there's two things I think. If you have an idea and you think it's viable, build it. I think that's and especially again with the tools we have today, with the software systems that are out there with AI, it's not hard and it's not expensive to build your idea, or just at least an MVP of your idea. Build a minimally viable product that you can get and start to show people. That is how you know if you have something or not. There's so many people who are like, oh, I've got an idea, I'm going to try to raise money on this. And that's not how investors even work these days. Like, no one's going to, unless you've had a lot of success in the past, you're not going to walk into an investor and say, I've got this idea, and they're going to write you a check. It doesn't happen anymore. Go build it. It's easy. It's cheap. Find a co-founder that can help you, either on the sales side, if you're the technical person, or vice versa, and start building. I think that's the biggest thing that I think a lot of founders, because I'll go to a lot of these like founder meetings, like, oh, I've got this great idea. It's like, oh, have you built it? Like, no, we're gonna try to get some money and then we'll build. It's like, no, that's you're gonna fall down. So build it. It's not hard. So number one, build it. Whatever you can build, go build it, and then do what you can do from there. Get feedback. Listen to people. One of the big things I found from a lot of software companies I've worked with is they just don't listen to their customers enough. They go build something, they think it's right. And then when people say, oh, we don't like this about it, they're like, well, you just don't understand it. It's like, these are your users. They're like, listen to them. They're the ones that might buy. So listen up. So listen, reiterate whatever you're building. And then I think the third thing is build a network. That is like, I wouldn't be where I am at all if I hadn't gone out and networked every night for years, and like, just met with people and connected with people on LinkedIn, and then set a coffee date with them, things like that. Everything, when I think about our contract with the Better Business Bureau, that was me meeting somebody at a networking event who introduced me to somebody else, who introduced me to another person and another person and another person that got us that contract. So just keep building your network, meet as many people as possible. If somebody wants to meet you and you think, oh, they're not really worth it, go meet them anyway. Just take the time. It's going to be, you never know where a nugget's going to hit. So those are kind of my biggest pieces of advice. Build it, launch it, and meet as many people as possible.
Yeah. And on the other side of that, what about the CEO of a Fortune 500 company that's just starting to adopt AI? What do you tell that person?
Run, don't walk. That's one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now. Is if you are behind at this point, you're going to be way behind, because most companies, even medium-sized companies and small companies, are starting to adopt this stuff, and they're making big strides. If you're a Fortune 500 with the resources to do this and you haven't started doing it yet, you need to invest heavily, because these guys are going to eat your lunch. There's so much, again, that AI can start doing. Like I was saying before, we see small business owners now that now have a marketing team and an admin team and a finance team and an operations team through AI. They are getting to the point where they can start competing with the big guys. They can have SEO programs that are better than any person's going to be able to come up with, because it's just on the fly constantly. So if you're a big company, a CEO of a big company, start looking quickly into what you can do to automate, to adapt the data that you have. That's one of the cool things too, is when we look at what it can do for data, what would take a person to kind of evaluate when it comes to, what your production data looks like, or your marketing data, or your, finding constraints and trying to work your way through it. AI can do that so much faster than humans can at this point. And if you want to beat your competitors, that's what you need to adopt to be able to get to a level that's either at their level or surpass them. So run towards it, adopt it, wrap your arms around it, because it's going to be the big thing. You don't want to fall behind.
Totally agree. Run towards AI as fast as you can. But also, you got to make sure the big companies, you got to do it safely too,
Sure.
right? It's not like an individual you're taking, especially if you've got sensitive or high risk data. You're going to need, governance around that and risk
Yep.
management and do your regulatory compliance and cybersecurity, all that good stuff. Anyway,
Well,
let's
it's one of
shift
the reasons
over
they should
to
run, because if they don't run now, they've got all those steps to go through, right? It's like it's going to be a
right,
longer
exactly.
process for them. They should run now, because it's going to take time.
Exactly. So we head into our lightning round now,
Yeah.
which is underrated or overrated. So we're going to start off with Golden Gate Park, underrated or overrated?
Golden Gate Park is underrated. It's a great park. It's huge. It's got great museums. It's got buffalo. It's got it's a fantastic. It's bigger than Central Park. It's I don't know.
Wow.
I go there a lot. So underrated. Go there. Have fun.
Coffee shops as workspaces, underrated or overrated?
Underrated. I use them constantly. I always in coffee shops working. I focus more.
As long as you don't record a podcast there, it's all good.
Yeah, don't do that. That's annoying for everybody.
The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, the book, obviously.
I think it is overrated. I think that it is great, and there's some great things that come out of that. I think it's actually better now. With AI, I think it is actually a better structure now. I think earlier, before AI came out, sometimes people were moving too fast and too hard with the lean model, and that's where things got broken. I mean, you look at some of Facebook's early stuff, and they had to rewrite their entire code at some point because it was garbage at one point. So a little overrated. I think it's better now, a better structure now, better tools.
The gig economy, underrated or overrated?
I think it is underrated now. I think it was always a little underrated. Like, there's great people out there that can do some great things. But with the change, with again AI coming in, I think the gig economy is going to help people build actually into the AI systems that they need to be able to operate and automate some of their businesses. I think we're going to see a lot of like AI consultants come out over the next few years that are going to really kind of be a whole new industry. So underrated. Use it, utilize it.
Yeah. Data privacy concerns around AI, underrated or overrated?
Underrated. I think we really need to start thinking about how that privacy and that information is saved in different systems. I think when you're looking at using AI, you should look at your terms of service, which I know nobody's going to read, but you want to know how they're using that data. You do, good. I sometimes do.
Yeah, that's why I know that Perplexity owns all your data.
Yeah.
So I don't use Perplexity. Smart home devices, underrated or overrated?
Probably overrated. I think they're great. I have a lot of them, but they're starting to automate every little thing. I don't need my fridge, automated. I don't need, I think it's overrated to a point, but I think it's going to continue to evolve. I think everything's going to be automated at some point. So do I need my oven automated?
If I could have my coffee maker turn on when I wake up instead of a set time, that would be pretty helpful.
Oh, that'd be okay. I get that. Senses movement, and you're like, oh, time to go.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence ethics, underrated or overrated?
Underrated. I think we're going to see. I think some of the big guys are trying to work within the ethical realms, but I think it's moving so fast that it's hard for people to keep a focus on what is going to be ethical. But I think more than that is, again, other players. Again, there's a lot of people out there that are going to use AI for very nefarious reasons. It's going to make hacking easier. It's going to make phishing and different and people that are trying to do bad things to people. I think it's going to make it easier to do. So underrated. We need to really look at this, and I think that's again where regulation comes in, is building those ethics and those morals that these companies need to stand by.
Yeah. Sushi in San Francisco, underrated or overrated?
Oh, it's great. There's fantastic sushi here, so underrated. There's so many
Favorite restaurant? Favorite sushi restaurant?
Favorite sushi restaurant? There's a one in the West Portal neighborhood called Line, which is fantastic. It's a pretty new spot, so that one's really good. Let's see. Oh, Sushi Time in the Castro, fantastic. So it's a little spicy. It's hard to find. It's like down some stairs, and it's got like one row of tables and a bar, and
Oh,
sushi's fantastic there.
yeah.
Very authentic.
Hidden restaurants are my thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's hard to find. Unless you know, it's
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. J.R.R. Tolkien as an author, underrated or overrated?
Oh, underrated. Oh my god, I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I watch it. I'll do at least once a year. I'll watch all three in a row. It's like a whole Saturday for me, and it's amazing. I haven't read the book since I was like 14 or 13, so it's been a long time. But he just creates these worlds that are amazing. So
Yeah, super cool.
yeah.
San Francisco cable cars for residents, underrated or overrated?
It depends on where you live. Like if you live up in Pack Heights in the marina, it's kind of the only way to get. Well, I guess you take buses, but the bus isn't that fun sometimes. So I would say probably overrated. People aren't going to take it. You can take a bus or you can walk or things like that. But it's fun. When people come to town, I'm like, let's jump on the cable car and ride it. But yeah, people don't take it for work. That's not.
And then finally, the movie The Social Network, underrated or overrated?
I would say underrated. I actually thought it was a pretty good movie, and it's a good kind of insight into how a tech business actually kind of evolves and is built, and how different players come in, and kind of the mindset that people start to get into when they start building a tech company and start becoming successful, where it's kind of like stomp on other people to get to where you need to be. It's sad kind of how that happened. I don't think there's really any good guys in the movie, but I think it's an entertaining movie, and it kind of does give a decent insight into what I've seen from like the startup industry. So kind of interesting. Although he raised very easily, and most of the people are not going to be able to raise money that quickly or easily. So,
Yeah, no, that's totally true. That is,
keep that in
I
mind.
think it's 1% of companies end up raising money from VC. So
Yeah,
it's not a big number. People think, oh, this is gonna be easy.
yeah.
Not so much.
Like, oh, Peter Thiel just offers $500,000. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been Matthew White on the show. He is the founder and CEO of Platypus OS, your complete AI assistant. Matthew, why don't you give us some information about where people can find this?
Yeah, so you can go to platypusos.com and you can actually download the system right there and start utilizing it. There's no cost at this point to start using it. We are releasing it for free as the assistant. There's other ways that we'll monetize down the road with our agent marketplace, etc. But use it. We want people to start using it, start seeing how it works, and start just enjoying what assistive AI can start doing for you. So yeah, platypusos.com. Download it. Let us know what you think. We're excited to get this into you guys' hands.
Cool. And is it capturing any people's personal information or anything, or what do we need to know about from a privacy standpoint?
Yeah, only what you want us to. So we ask you if you want us to start to build a profile about you, and so if you do, we can start building an agent that will build around who you are. Kind of what you're, the way you talk, the way you write, all that kind of stuff. Or you can say no, and we won't save any of it in our own servers. You can use it just as a pass through, or if you wanted to start building an agent that's going to be a personalized assistant to you, we can do that as well. No, we won't save any credit card information, credentials, anything like that. None of that's saved in our servers. Everything is saved locally on your device. So if you just like a browser, if you want a credit card to automatically prompt, that's saved device side. So we don't save any of that stuff.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, Matthew. Great show. And
Thank
thanks
you
for coming on the show.
This is so much fun. I appreciate it.